Starting a new world in Minecraft is always a fun adventure, and I want to give you an extra boost with the full tutorials for the 7 essential farms in Minecraft Bedrock Edition, including a max rates iron farm, a simple fully automatic wood farm, a villager breeder, a cow farm for food, an AFK Fish XP Farm, a 3-in-1 Kelp farm that also delivers XP and can be used for sugarcane too, and finally an auto sorter for all the items you get with these farms. Enjoy the video. Here's how to build the best max rates iron farm for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. First of all, you want to find an area without any beds, working stations or villagers. The first thing you want to do is to dig out a square hole. It should have the size 11 by 11 and it should be only 1 block deep. As the next step, you want to take some glass blocks and you want to place a rim all around the entire square hole that is out of your glass blocks. Once you did that, grab some solid blocks and you want to go to the exact middle block, which is this one, and you want to stack up 3 solid blocks. Now to each side you should have 5 empty blocks. This is to make sure that you really are in the middle. Now you want to break the 2 bottom blocks and then you want to extend out by 5 blocks into each direction. So do this at this side, do this at the third side, and you also want to do this at the fourth side as well. Once you did that, what you want to do is to place some more blocks so you create a solid platform out of solid blocks, and this again should have the size 11 by 11. Next, you want to go to the middle again, and there you want to remove the middle block right there. Again, make sure that you have 5 empty blocks to each side to make sure that this really is the middle block that you broke. Next, you want to take 30 beds and you want to place them around the hole. You start by placing 4 in this shape, and then you just want to go all around the first circle with a second circle out of beds, and you want to do this as long as you have beds left. Now in the end, your pattern should be looking something like this, and once you did that, the next thing to do is to go inside of the hole, and then you want to grab your workstations and you want to go to one side and remove every other block and replace it with a workstation. This will account for 5 workstations, and you want to do this on all 4 sides of the entire thing. So in the end you will have placed 20 workstations, but you still have 10 left. And now let me place the last ones. So now we have 10 workstations left to place, and you want to place these workstations in the floor. You can really place them wherever you want to, you just want to make sure that they're about equally spaced so every villager will have enough space to work on their workstations later. Now you want to remove one of the glass blocks and replace it with a solid block, and then break the block above, and then you want to place 2 ladders, and on top you want to place a trapdoor. This way you can easily access this spot down here, and if you want, trade with the villagers later. Now as you can see in my scenario, I have a village nearby, and you too want to travel to your next village or other source of villagers, and there you want to collect at least 2 villagers. You can do this by putting them in a boat and then use a lead to pull them all the way to your farm. Now they should automatically get connected to the workstations and the beds, and if they're stuck outside you can again put them into boats, remove some of the blocks that are part of the roof, and then drive them into this section yourself. Of course, don't forget to replace all the blocks you removed, and as the next step you want to just light up this space by placing at least 2 torches. And then you want to throw the villagers some bread or carrots or any other stuff that they can eat. As you can see, they will sooner or later start breeding, and they will do this as long as there aren't 30 villagers in our farm. Once they're done, what you want to do is to remove every villager that has a green coat, and then you want to wait until they're replaced, and you want to also wait until all the children are grown up. In the end, you want to have 30 working villagers in your farm. Once you have them, you can go out of the entire thing again, and then you want to take some solid blocks, you want to leave open the middle block and place blocks all around. So now what you want to do is to extend this circle by 7 more blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 into this direction. Do the same thing to the other side. 5, 6, 7. Then 7 more on this side. And 7 more on the 4th side. Once you did that, what you want to do is to turn the rest into a solid platform, but of course leave open the middle block again. And now once you have your 17 by 17 blocks solid platform, you want to go one block outwards and one block to the top and remove the first block. And then you want to place 3 more blocks, and now we want to create a rim all around the entire platform that has the size 4 blocks. This means on all 4 sides it should be 4 blocks thick. Next, you want to go one block out again and again one block to the top, remove the first one and create another rim, but this time only 1 block thick all around the entire platform that you already created. Once you set up this entire platform, you can start putting in all the water streams. I recommend having a nearby infinite water source looking like this in order to place in all the water, or maybe an ocean or something like this, so that you have infinite water. And in order to place down our water streams, you want to go to each corner and place these 3 blocks with these 4 blocks around. So you want to do this on all 4 corners. By having blocks in these positions, what you can do is to place water on top of all of these, and then you can place water in all these locations. By having these blocks placed down, we ensure that we don't create infinite water sources and we don't waterlog the entire platform, but instead have real water streams that push all our iron golems into the middle of the farm. And now you want to do this on all 4 sides again, and after doing this you can remove the 3 holder blocks again. Now that we got the water streams, we can add our killing mechanism to the farm, and this is very easy and straightforward. You just want to place a sign in the middle hole. Then you want to place one more sign on top and another sign on top. And now outgoing from this sign, you want to place 4 signs, one on each of every of the sides. And then you just want to place another sign on top of all of these 4 sides. In the end, your setup should be looking something like this. And this way, we have a spot for our lava to be placed in, but prohibiting the lava from flowing out and destroying our water streams. And next, you want to enter your villager's spot again. And then what you want to do is to come to the middle, where you should still have the empty block. And then you want to place a hopper to one side, and to that side you want to place a double chest. This will be our entire storage system. All our items will be in this chest later. Now the next thing and last thing you have to do before you can start using the farm is to remove all of the iron golems that already spawned around the farm. In survival, use a source of lava because then the iron golem will not get triggered on you. Now the farm will already be working, but I recommend placing some torches all underneath your platform to prevent zombies and other hostile mobs from spawning. But apart from that, your farm is now usable and all the iron golems will already get killed automatically. And if you want to collect the loot, then you can simply do this by going to your villager spot and then just enter the chest, and we already have 8 iron ingots in this chest. This farm will be working automatically as long as you are in a 64 block radius to the farm, but if you want to, you can set up an AFK spot nearby, or you can just stand inside of your villager spot, maybe trade with the villagers, and the iron will come in automatically. That said, I hope this video helped you to get an infinite source of iron in your Minecraft survival world. If it did, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. This will help us both and you won't miss any further content of my channel. Then we see us again in the next video. See ya! In Minecraft, wood is an essential resource and there are a lot of great wood farm tutorials for Bedrock Edition out there. But all of them require TNT or manually breaking the logs, so this video I'll show you how to build a fully AFK wood farm for Minecraft 1.21 Bedrock Edition. The first thing after finding a good flat area to build this insane farm on is to place down a row out of 10 solid blocks. After you did this, you want to dig out 2 blocks in front of each and every one of these blocks that you placed, so a depth of 2 blocks and a length of 10 blocks. Then, in this hole, you want to place sticky pistons, which will again account for 10 sticky pistons. On top of them, you want to go ahead and place some sand blocks. In front of these sand blocks, you want to go ahead and place a row out of solid blocks. Then take your sticky pistons again, go to the row of blocks right here, and place down sticky pistons facing to you. Then on top of the second row, you want to go ahead and place again some sand blocks. After completing the first step for this farm, get behind the farm to the first sticky piston in the row, and there you want to place some blocks in a T shape. Then you want to remove this one, so you have a V shape looking something like this. In the middle block, you want to place a redstone repeater, which is on 2 ticks, so click it once. In this position, place some redstone dust, and in this position a redstone torch. This will create a redstone clock, and you want to place a lever in this position and shut it off, and this will be the on and off switch for the entire farm. Now if some sand broke, this is fine, just replace it. As the next step, place 1 block behind every single of these sticky pistons. And then we'll grab some redstone dust and replace redstone dust on top of all of these blocks that you just placed. Then the pistons will extend and will connect to our sand blocks. As the next thing, you want to grab some solid blocks again, and then you want to place a row out of solid blocks all on top of these sticky pistons. Now in front, so on top of the sticky piston arms, you want to place a line out of sand blocks. Then place another line out of solid blocks on top of the first one, so everything looks like this and you have this staircase shape. At this point, grab some observers, some redstone torches and pistons and also some blocks, and place a redstone torch at the side of the first sticky piston in the row, so right next to the redstone clock. Then next to the blocks, you want to place 2 observers on top of each other, facing upwards, so with the redstone output to the top. Then what you want to do is to place a solid block on top of the output of the observer right here, then a line out of pistons on top of all these solid blocks, with 1 solid block at the end, and another line out of solid blocks behind all of these pistons. Then grab some redstone dust again, place redstone dust on top of this solid block and on top of all these pistons you just placed. As the next step, we will create the composting system for our farm. This will create all the bone meal that is required to grow our wood. In order to do this, what you want to do is to get to the other side that is opposite of our redstone clock, so right here, and there you want to place a dispenser in this position facing that way. It should be 1 block offset from the edge of the farm. Then in front of all these solid blocks, you want to place a line of hoppers that funnels into each other. You want to really make sure that all of them are connected and funnel into our dispenser. On top of all these hoppers, you want to go ahead and place 1 composter each. This composter will compost all the kelp and turn it into bone meal. Then take out some more hoppers and place another line of hoppers on top of our composters. Now in between the sand and the composters, you want to place a line out of solid blocks, and then our composting system is already set up. As the next step, come to this side, and there you want to place 3 blocks in these positions. Then you want to stack 3 more layers of block lines on top, and after you did this, you want to do the same thing at the other side. So first of all, place 2 blocks in these positions because we left them out earlier. And then you want to place 3 blocks, and you want to extend this wall by 3 layers, so you end up 1 block above the entire farm. Now in between these 2 walls, what you want to do is to take your stairs, and you want to place a line out of stairs that point inwards and downwards as well. These stairs should be right in front of the redstone that we placed on top of the pistons. Before we can fill in our water streams, you want to place 1 sign in front of each of these stairs. Once you placed all these 10 signs, you want to come to this side, to this exact block, and place a sign in this position. Then you have to sneak in order to place more signs in front of the first sign, and again you want to take this row to the other end of our farm. And that should be looking something like this. As you can see, every single sign is placed at the side of the other one before. Now as the last thing before we can create the water streams, you want to place a line out of glass panes on top of the hoppers. Again, this is to make sure that none of the water spills out. At this point, again make sure that you have blocks behind and at the side of the pistons, and then you can go ahead and waterlog the pistons. You probably need to create an infinite water source first, so do this, and then you can fill in not only the pistons, but also the stairs at the top, and after you did this, also 1 block on top of the sand each. Once you placed your 3 water sources per cell, you can place in your kelp. You just want to place the kelp on top of all 10 sand blocks.
Before we get to the wood part of the entire thing, what you want to do is to get to this side of the farm again, and there you want to place a redstone repeater at the side of this block. It should light up and you want to click it once, so set it on 2 ticks. Then take some redstone dust, place it in these locations, break this exact block right here and also these two, then break this exact block and you should be right at the sticky piston right here. Then you want to dig a tunnel until you are at the other side of the piston line, and once you found that there are no more pistons in the line, you want to connect every single sticky piston to our redstone system by just connecting the redstone line with our redstone clock. This should make all these sticky pistons extend and the stand should now be at this height. Then you want to replace this exact block and our redstone system for this part of the farm is set up. Now you can also go ahead and remove your water source again, and then we get to the bamboo part of the farm. In order to do this, what you want to do is to place a bamboo in front of our dispenser. Of course, bamboo isn't wood, but trust me, we'll turn all that bamboo into wood automatically. And now as the next step for this part, what you want to do is to place a block in this position and then a piston on top. Then you want to go ahead and break 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks in front of the bamboo. You want to place a chest in the first spot and then 2 crafters behind. You want to make sure that both of them are facing the right way. This is very important, otherwise the farm will not work. Next, you want to make sure that you place a hopper right next to it and the hopper should funnel into the crafter in front of it. Now take some blocks and you want to make sure that you fill in all these blocks to create a wall and a roof. What you want to do is to place some blocks in these 5 positions as well, and then you want to grab some glass blocks and place 2 of them above the first crafter. By doing this, we ensure that all of the bamboo will end up being crafted into wood. Next, you want to get to the second crafter, and there you want to log all of these 9 slots, and then I show you how to connect everything with our redstone system. In order to do this, you want to grab a redstone torch and place it right at the side of our redstone clock. Then grab some redstone dust and place it all the way to this point right here. And of course we broke some blocks right here, you want to replace them if you haven't already done this. And then you want to place redstone dust all the way to this dispenser right here. Then grab a redstone repeater and place it in this position. You want to click it 2 times so it's set to 3 ticks, and then you can finally connect the piston with some redstone dust. You have to break this block in order to do so. And now after connecting this piston, we also want to connect the crafters. In order to do so, you need to break this block, and then you need to break these 2 blocks, and you want to dig out a little tunnel in order to get to the crafters. The first crafter is in this position right here, so you want to get underneath this crafter. You want to place a block in this position and a redstone torch at the side of the block right underneath our first crafter. So the redstone torch should be in this exact location right here, a block behind it, and then our path. We then want to place a redstone dust in this position, so right behind the block with redstone torch, another block, then a redstone repeater leading into that block, and then you want to just connect everything with redstone dust. Now you can go ahead and you want to leave out these 2 blocks and then place blocks in all these locations so that you don't drop into the redstone system, but this is rather optional. At this point, I'm glad to tell you we are finished with building this massive but very efficient farm, and in order to start it, the only thing you have to do is to flick this lever at the back side. This will start the entire construction, which will produce a high amount of kelp, which will then get turned into bone meal, and the bone meal will power this machine in order to generate tons of bamboo, and all the bamboo will automatically get crafted into these bamboo planks, which is perfect wood. You can perfectly use this wood for crafting or turn it into sticks to sell it at the villages for emeralds. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. This will help us both and you won't miss further content. And then I hope we see us again in the next video. See ya! Here's how to build this simple villager breeder for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. For the villager breeder, the first thing that you want to do is to place down a dispenser. Then place 2 glass blocks in this position, And you want to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 solid blocks at this side. Then you want to place 3 blocks in these positions and then connect it with the dispenser so you have a 3x2 rectangle empty in the middle. Then take some rails and place one right here in front of the dispenser and then just all the way to where you want to transport the villagers later. Now place a water bucket inside of here at this position so the water stream will end up at the dispenser right here. Now we're gonna add 2 more layers to this construction. That means 4 blocks of glass in the front side and then just place a wall of solid blocks all the way around. That means on top of the solid blocks and on top of the dispenser. Next you want to place 2 temporary blocks in these locations and then you want to place upper slabs on all 4 sides of that block. Next you can go ahead and remove the 2 blocks again and then replace the upper one with a glass pane block. Then we're gonna need a roof out of slabs on top of the entire thing, starting in this corner and then go all the way around the entire construction and also in these 3 locations. Then take out your solid blocks again and place 4 solid blocks on top of each other in this location. At the side, you want to place some ladders so you can easily access this spot later. Now in the front side, we have 1 block empty above the rail and we're now gonna change that. So place a upper slab in this position, a solid block above and another slab on top of that solid block. This will prevent any zombies from killing our villagers in the farm. As the next step, I want you to go up the ladders so you are on top of the roof and then place a regular piston in this position. This should be the back side of the farm. On top of the piston, you want to place a dispenser pointing towards you and then you want to surround everything with glass blocks. So in all these 3 locations. Next, create another layer out of slabs and then you want to go to the side. You want to place a lever right here, so at the side of the dispenser, and then another block and a button in this position. Now you will need to get 2 villagers either from your nearest village or from curing zombie villagers. Then what you want to do is to get the 2 villagers in this hole, so on top of the glass pane. Now in survival mode, the easiest way to do this is to use a leash or lead on that boat and stack yourself up using temporary blocks. I want you to go all the way up so you're right above the entire farm, so the villager should land on top of the roof, like this. Now just push the villager above the hole, make sure it lands safely on top of the glass pane. You want to get rid of all temporary blocks as I already did, and then repeat the same thing with the second villager. Now that we got the 2 villagers in place, I want you to go to the back side of the entire thing and there you want to place 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks and extend that on both sides so you get 6 blocks in a row. Then you want to go 3 blocks into this direction and fill in the entire platform so you have a 6x4 rectangle. And now on top of this platform we can fit 12 beds. You can do more if you want to, but this doesn't really matter if you transport the baby villagers away from the farm directly. Now there are 2 last things to do before you can use the farm. The first thing is to enter this dispenser at the top and you want to place 1 stack of bread into that dispenser and then you want to drop down and go to the second dispenser right here and put some minecarts into that dispenser. And now the farm is set up and can be used. What you want to do is to go up the ladders and then you want to flick this lever several times. Bread should get dispensed out and the villagers should collect it. You want to repeat this as long as the villagers don't start breeding. As you can see, sooner or later you will start seeing these harsh particles and that means that the villagers start breeding and the baby villager will drop down immediately into our water stream. And as you can see, we already got 3 baby villagers. Now this farm will work as long as the 12 beds aren't filled. So that means 10 baby villagers plus our 2 regular ones. If you want to create an infinite amount of villagers, then you just have to minecart the baby villagers away 100 blocks from the farm and they won't count to the village anymore. so you just have to add some more rails to that existing minecart track, and then you simply have to place a button at the side of the dispenser and press it once. This will spawn a minecart and a baby villager will enter the minecart. You can push it to its desired destination and repeat this as often as you want to. If the farm stops working for no visible reason, check that there's enough bread left for the villagers, and if you don't have bread in the dispenser anymore, you just have to put some more into it.
At this point, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know by subscribing to my channel. I appreciate every kind of support that I get, and thanks for the support in the recent time. Then I hope we see us again in the next video. See ya!
This video, let's build this very easy cow farm that provides tons of steak and leather. Now in my inventory, I got everything that we need in order to build this farm. The first thing that you want to do is to remove 4 blocks off the floor in a square shape, so 2 by 2. Then you want to replace it with a double chest in front, and behind you want to place 2 hoppers that funnel into the double chest. Now at both sides you want to go ahead and place 2 blocks like this. Then what you want to do is to grab some slabs and place them above the chest at the upper side so you can still open the chest. Then what you want to do next is to take a dispenser and place it on top of this exact block right here and place another solid block in front. You want to place 2 solid blocks at the other side like this. And now you want to jump on top of the slabs and you want to place 4 blocks in these positions. Then you want to go ahead and you want to place 4 more blocks behind like this. Then you want to come to the last block that you placed, and there you want to stack up by 2. Do the same thing at this block as well, and you want to take that 2 block wall all around the entire 2 by 2 square that you created in the middle. So let me just place some more blocks at this side as well, and this is the wall created. You also want to place 4 blocks in this position and also do the same thing at the other side. So you created a wall that goes all the way around the entire thing. Now in the middle we left some blocks open, and this is where you want to place a glass window so that you can see what is going on in the farm. And after you placed 4 blocks as a window, you could put 2 regular blocks on top. Next, you want to take some blocks and place 4 of them as temporal blocks in these 4 positions. We'll later remove some of them again. But now we want to take some water, and you want to place your 2 water buckets right here and right there as well, which will make all the cows flow into our killing chamber later. Now before continue building the farm, we need to get some cows into the farm. In order to do this, what you can do is to place some blocks as a ladder in some shape like this, and then you want to take some wheat and just lure some cows into the farm. With wheat in your hand, the cows will automatically follow you on top of the farm, and you can easily push them into the farm. Now in the end, you want to have at least 40 cows in your farm. You could do this by breeding or by just luring more into it. Next, you want to take some time and let the cows grow up, and then you can continue building the farm. The next step will be to place a temporal block in this position right here, and then place some fences above the cows. It will take some spam clicks in order to do so. But as you can see, I did it with this one, and then you just have to place them at the other sides as well. And as you can see now, I'm trying to do this with the 2 other blocks. And now as you can see, I placed fences above every single cow spot that there is, so all the 4 blocks that are part of the square. And next you want to grab yourself a pickaxe and you can remove this whole block right here. And then you can go down the staircase, and then what you want to do is to go into the farm by removing these 2 blocks right here. And as the next step you want to remove these 2 blocks, but you want to replace them instantly with buttons. So remove this one and replace it, and do the same thing on the other side, replace it. And then you want to grab 1 more button and you want to put it in this position right here. And then you can finally block the farm up again. And the last thing to do is to get 1 more button and place it right in this position right here. That way none of the lava can kill our items or our baby cows. And now you just want to start breeding all the cows that are above right here. And you want to do this as long as there are still hard particles appearing. As you can see, all the baby cows will sooner or later drop down right here, and you get experience for breeding them. you want to continue until there are no more hard particles appearing, as I already mentioned. Now after you did that, you want to wait until all of them, or at least some of them, grew up. When this is the case, you can start killing the cows to get all the leather and steak. In order to do so, you just have to press this button, and as soon as all adult cows are killed, you can press the button a second time to remove the lava again. As you can see, all the loot went into the chest. You can collect it and use it for your survival world. Now I hope this tutorial helped you. If it did, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, and then we see us again in the next video. See ya!
Here's the best fish XP farm for Minecraft Bedrock Edition.
In order to build this very easy AFK fish farm, the first thing you want to do is to remove 3 blocks in the floor. And then you want to make this hole 3 blocks deeper, so 1, 2 and 3. And you want to go ahead and place a double chest at one side of that hole. And then you want to grab a hopper and you want to place it in the remaining spot of the hole. Make sure it funnels directly into the large chest. Next, you want to grab some ladders and place 2 of them at these 2 positions above the double chest. Then you want to go up the ladders and you want to place a trapdoor right above the ladders. Then you want to go ahead and place a temporal block on top of your hopper with a rail and a minecart with hopper on top. Then you want to go ahead and just break the block so the minecart with hopper drops down. Now at the exact same block where you got the minecart with hopper, you want to take a sign and you want to place a sign in that position. Now you also want to place 2 subtle blocks in these 2 positions, and this will allow us to place some lava in this location right here, 1 block underneath the surface, and the lava should not flow into our system. But as the next step, you want to place a chest right behind the lava in this exact position. You want to place trapdoors all the way around the chest, which should account for 5 trapdoors. So you want to place them in these 5 locations. And after doing this, you want to flick all of them. After you did this, grab a white banner or any other kind of banner that you want and place it in front of the chest so it drops down all the way to the lava. Lastly, grab your 2 water buckets and place them in this position and waterlock the chest, and also place a solid block on top of the chest with a slab at the side. This slab will prohibit us from falling into the lava. In order to perfectly use the farm, I recommend having a fishing rod with luck of the sea 3 and lure 3. This will give you the most experience and the best loot at once. In order to use it, you want to stand right next to your slab and you want to click on the banner. Whenever you caught a fish, the fishing rod will automatically retract and will get the loot for you every time. So the farm is not fully AFK, but you will never lose any items because you got the perfect timing. All the experience will get to you automatically and all the loot will be in the double chest below. At this point, if this video helped you, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. This will help us both and you won't miss further content. And then I hope we'll see us again in the next video. See ya!
This right here is the most versatile farm in all of Minecraft Bedrock, being able to produce kelp, bone meal, fuel and experience. Here's how to quickly build it. The first thing you want to do is to place down a line out of 4 solid blocks with sticky pistons on top. They should point towards you. In front, you want to dig a trench that is 2 blocks deep. It should be 4 blocks long like this. Now in this hole, you want to place another line out of sticky pistons, this time pointing upwards. On top you can place some sand. As the next step, you want to place 4 solid blocks in these positions and also sand on top. Should be aligned with the sticky pistons so they can pick them up later. As the next step, you want to place another line of blocks in front of the sand right here and also behind the sticky pistons. Then place 3 blocks in this pattern so you have a T shape and you want to break the middle block. You want to replace that block with a redstone repeater that points into this direction, and also you want to click it 1 time so this redstone torch right here is in the 2nd position. Then go ahead and place some redstone dust in this position and also a redstone torch at the back side, and this should give you a redstone clock. You want to take a lever and place it at the back side and flick it off so the redstone clock stops. Next, jump on top of here and also place redstone dust on top of these 4 blocks to connect all 4 sticky pistons to our redstone system. If you now activate the lever right here, then all 4 pistons should extend. Now at the same time we also want to connect the 4 sticky pistons that are beneath the sand right here. And in order to do this, you want to go to this position, turn around and place a redstone repeater that you want to click 1 time. Should be right in this position. And then you want to place redstone dust in these 3 locations. Now you want to dig down right here and also remove these 2 blocks right here and these 2. So you are right next to these sticky pistons. You want to dig out a tunnel so you're right at the last sticky piston, so the 4th one. And then just connect all 4 sticky pistons with redstone dust to our redstone system. And as you can see, they also extend. And then you just want to replace the block that you broke right here. We continue our build with a redstone torch in this position, so right next to the sticky piston right here, and 2 observers on top of that redstone torch. The arrow at the side should point upwards. Next, what you want to do is to grab a solid block and place it on top of the redstone output of the observer. Then place a line of solid blocks on top of our sticky pistons, add a second layer to that, and the 3rd layer should be out of pistons that point into this direction right here. Then you want to continue with another line of sand in these 4 positions and a solid block line in front. At this point, you want to make sure that you have a block in this position and also 1 block behind every of these regular pistons. On top of our regular pistons, we're gonna place some redstone dust and also on top of this block to connect all the 4 pistons to our redstone system. Then grab some solid blocks again and we're gonna add some walls to this farm. In order to do this, place 3 solid blocks right here and add 3 more layers to that for a total of 4 blocks. Then you want to do the same thing at the other side. So 3 blocks right here and then add 3 more layers to have a solid wall. In between of our 2 walls, we're gonna add some stairs in these 4 positions. And in front of each of these stairs, you want to place a sign. After we got a first line of signs, you want to add a second line of signs in these positions. In order to place another sign on top of the first one, you're gonna have to crouch down. Now of course, we also want to collect all of the kelp that is harvested in this farm later. We're gonna add some hoppers in these 4 positions. And on top of the 4 hoppers, you want to place some glass panes looking like this. And then you can already go ahead and create an infinite source of water looking like this, so that you have enough water to fill in all the water sources for this farm. You want to waterlog all of these 4 stairs. Then you want to waterlog all of these 4 pistons. And there it becomes very important that you surrounded everything with blocks, so no water can drip out. And then you also want to place 1 source of water on top of all the 4 sand blocks right here. This is our water system set up, and now you can go ahead and plant all the kelp. Now you just have to remove the infinite source of water if you want to, and our farm is fully set up. Now if you go ahead and flick on this lever, you can test the system, and as you can see, this is what should happen. So all the kelp is harvested and will end up being in the hoppers. So the basic farm is set up. But now let me show you how to get all the resources that I mentioned out of this single farm. Now of course, if you want to use this farm as a plain kelp source, what you have to do is just to remove these 4 blocks and replace them with double chests. If you turn on the farm, then all the kelp will end up being in our double chests and you already have a good collection system. But what if you want to use this farm as a quite insane bone meal farm? Well, in order to do this, what you have to do is to place a chest in this position. You can also place a double chest if you plan to run this farm longer. Then what you want to do is to place 4 hoppers and all of them should be funneling into the chest right here or into the hopper that is in front of them, of course. Then you want to break the blocks that are in between the hoppers and replace them with composters. And our farm is already set up. This will turn all the kelp automatically into bone meal. Well, as you can see, all the composters are automatically filled up and all the bone meal that is harvested will automatically end up being in the double chest right here. Now last but not least, let's turn this kelp farm into a fuel and experience farm. So if you want to get XP all dried kelp blocks, what you have to do is to place a double chest in this position again. This time you also have to place hoppers in these 4 positions that funnel into the chest. But now after you broke the 4 blocks right here, you want to replace them with smokers. Also, you want to place one lever in front of all of these 4 hoppers. Now you will need to put some fuel into the smokers beforehand to activate the farm. But as mentioned, this farm will generate fuel itself, so therefore you don't have to refuel. Now in this case I used some lava buckets because they're easy to get in my opinion, but you can also use wood or coal or whatever you want basically. Now if we turn on the farm, what happens is very simple. All the kelp that is farmed will be dried in our smokers right here. Now after just a few seconds you will already have more than enough dried kelp to craft dried kelp blocks. I recommend having a crafting table nearby, so just take out all the dried kelp and turn it into dried kelp blocks. Then you can simply go ahead and put the dried kelp blocks into the smokers, and of course while using the farm you want to make sure that the smokers will never run out of dried kelp blocks as fuel. Now this is the fuel part of the farm, but how to use this as an experience farm? Well, in order to do this, you have to let this farm run for a few hours. This will give you the most experience, but of course you will also get experience if you just collect the XP after a few minutes of farming. But in order to do this, what you want to do is to flick these 4 levers in front of the hoppers. This will lock the hoppers, and now whenever an item is dried, it will stay in the slot of the smoker. Then you just have to take it out, and as you can see, it got me some experience. Now I let this farm run for only 2 minutes or so. If you let this farm run for hours, then you will easily get to level 30. And remember, you can use this farm AFK, so you don't have to do anything, and the XP will build up by itself in the smokers. However, if you want to be on the safer side, stay in a 64 block radius to the farm, or turn off the farm whenever you leave that radius, because sometimes the sand might fall down. This is because the farm itself is somewhat glitchy, but if you follow my instructions, then this won't happen to you. At this point, I hope the farm helps you in your survival world. If it does, please don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate every kind of support that I get, and then I hope to see you again in the next video. See ya! Here's how to build this very easy and straightforward item sorter in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. First of all, you want to lay out the general shape of your item sorter. That means you gotta think about how many items you want to sort with this item sorter. I want to sort 5 items. Now per item that you want to sort out, you want to place 1 double chest in a row like this. I want to sort 5 items, so 5 double chests in a row. Next up, you want to think about how many of these items should fit in your storage system. So basically, do you want to have 1, 2 or 3 double chests full of inventory space for one single item? Now if you want to have more than 1 double chest per item, then you just have to stack the double chests on top of the first layer that we already got. Here we are, and I go with 2 double chests per item. Of course, you can do a higher amount if you want to. The storage system can be infinitely high or infinitely long, but when you got that set up, what you want to do is to go behind the double chests, and there you want to place 1 hopper behind every single of these double chests. You want to make sure that the nozzles are facing the double chest, so all the hoppers are linked with their double chest in front. Once you got 1 hopper behind every single of the double chests, you want to place some temporary blocks on top of the double chests like this, and then place hoppers facing these blocks. Here you want to make sure that the nozzles are facing the blocks and they should not point downwards. Then you can go ahead and break these blocks again. Next up, what we're gonna do is to go to this side of the hopper row and there place a solid block and a double chest next to it. Now break that temporary block and then place another line of hoppers, and all of them should funnel into the double chest like this. 1 extra hopper in this position, and then another double chest on top of this hopper. And this is the entire hopper and chest system set up. Now let's go to the redstone part of the item sorter. For this, I want you to go to the back side, and there you want to place a row out of blocks in this position. That row of blocks should be 1 block away from the hoppers, and it should be 1 block below the highest chest for your items. Then you want to place 1 redstone torch at each of these blocks,
at this side, so they should face the hoppers like this. And behind the blocks, you want to place redstone repeaters that go into those blocks. Behind the redstone repeaters, you want to place another row out of solid blocks. And by the way, these really should be solid blocks, so no leaves or glass blocks. Then, on top of the redstone repeaters, you want to place another row out of solid blocks, and also in this position right here, and above the redstone torches. Again, you want to check that you are at the correct block height, so these hoppers should be right next to your head. As the next step, you want to place redstone comparators in all these positions, but you want to turn around to do so the 2 prongs face the hoppers and the single one should face that way. Do this for all 5 hoppers like this, and then place redstone dust on top of all remaining solid blocks like this. Now this is the entire redstone setup, it wasn't that hard, right? So next up, what you're gonna do is to place down an anvil. You want to take out an item of any kind. I take dirt blocks, place it into the anvil, and then rename it, maybe to filter or something like this. This is because, for example, if you choose to use dirt as the filter blocks and then put dirt in the sorter, then the item sorter will break. And to prevent that from happening, we create unique blocks that you will never put into the system. So now that we got these filter blocks, what you want to do is to enter this hopper right here, and then you want to place one single of these filter blocks into the last 4 slots, like this. You want to do this for all of the hoppers that you have in this row, so with the nozzles pointing towards you. By the way, they should stay in place and should not be funneled into the hopper below if you set everything up correctly. Now I hope you already know which items you want to sort with this farm, because now we will need these items. You will need at least 42 of the items that you want to sort with 1 slot. I got my 5 items already in my hotbar, and now what I want to do for the first slot is to take an item frame, decide which item I want to have in that slot, let's say emeralds, and then go to the hopper where there are already the filter blocks inside, and then take at least 42 of these items and put them in the first slot. Now you should see that the number of items should drop down to 41 and should stay there. All the remaining items will be in the double chest right here. This is 1 slot set up, so let's do this for the remaining ones as well, right? The procedure is always the same. Place the item frame, place the item inside so that you know which item is in which double chest, and place the stack of items in the first slot of the respective hopper. And lastly, what you want to do is to place another item frame at this chest right here, and with a rotten flesh inside. This will be our symbol for the trash double chest. How the item sorter works is very straightforward. In order to use it, you want to dump all the items that you have or that you want to sort in this double chest right here. As you can see, they are transported and funneled into the hoppers and will get sorted in their respective double chest. That means all the items that fit through the filters can end up in their respective double chest. As you can see, the number is higher than before. And then all the items that don't fit in the filters, so aren't within our storage system, will end up being in the trash double chest. By the way, if you want to, you can always expand this system. This is everything that I want to say to this item sorter. If it helped, please don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate all support that I get, and then I hope we'll see us again in the next video. See ya!